Lieutenant Elena felt a surge of alertness under her night vision helmet. Even though her eyes were shielded by darkness, her focus left no gap. The faint hum of battery-powered gear, mixed with the soft thuds of footsteps, echoed around the team. Checked the drone feed. Commander White's voice hissed into her comms. Yes, sir. Shooter zone isn't clear yet, Elena replied, her heartbeat sinking with the tension. She knew the moment was critical. They had to move through a small, heavily contested town, where every corner could be a trap. From below the ridge, gunfire erupted. Elena's pulse spiked. A SEAL whispered, "Who's shooting? Where's the pilot?" Uncertainty, fear, and strategy collided in the team. Commander White quickly spoke over the radio. "Stay calm. Target is marked. Wait for air support." Elena gripped her rifle tighter, scanning the area with precision. Every second felt like an eternity. Then, faintly at first, a distant roar broke the night. The sound grew louder, the unmistakable rumble of an A-10 Warthog. Elena's eyes widened. Enemy lines trembled under the approaching storm. A SEAL muttered in awe, "Here it comes." A-10! The Warthog streaked in, its guns locked on target. Tracer rounds, smoke, and explosions painted the battlefield a scene straight out of a high-stakes combat movie. Elena knew every decision at this moment would mean life or death. Eyes on the scanner, rifle ready, she braced for the chaos. The Warthog's engine screamed overhead, shaking the ground beneath Elena's boots. The enemy was caught off guard, scrambling for cover. Dust and smoke swirled in the narrow streets of the town, making visibility almost impossible. Elena left flank, whispered Petty Officer Cruz, signaling with hand gestures. The team fanned out, clearing corners with precision. Each doorway, each window could hide an enemy sniper. A sudden pop of gunfire ricocheted off the walls. Narrowly missing Cruz, Elena pivoted, returning fire with pinpoint accuracy. Her SEAL training kicked in. Every movement was deliberate, rehearsed, lethal. Overhead, the A-10 Warthog unleashed its first salvo. Tracers tore through the dark, illuminating shattered brick walls and sending enemy fighters diving for cover. The ground shook with every strike. "Target neutralized," came White's calm voice over comms. But there was no time to breathe. The enemy regrouped faster than expected. Elena ducked behind a collapsed wall as a grenade detonated nearby, spraying debris. Amidst the chaos, a young SEAL, Jenkins, got pinned down. Elena didn't hesitate. With her heart hammering, she sprinted across open rubble, bullets whizzing past, and pulled him to cover. "Thanks. I thought I was done for," Jenkins gasped. "No one gets left behind," Elena replied, her eyes scanning for the next threat. From the ridge, another group of enemy combatants appeared. The Warthog pivoted, strafing the new targets with relentless precision. Smoke and fire tore through the town, and the SEALs pressed forward. Every step, every shot, every command mattered. The mission was no longer just about survival, it was about dominating the battlefield and saving lives. Elena crouched behind a crumbling wall, her breath shallow, the night pierced by distant gunfire and the A-10's relentless roar. The SEALs had pushed through the first enemy line, but now the town's central square was a deadly maze. "Contact, 2 o'clock, shouted Cruz. Enemy fighters were emerging from shattered storefronts, aiming down sights with ruthless precision. Elena's fingers tightened around the trigger. Each shot was deliberate, no wasted movement, no hesitation. A window exploded as tracers zipped past her head. Above, the Warthog banked sharply, its twin GAU-8 Avenger cannons ripping through enemy barricades. The sound was deafening, reverberating through the streets. But it was exactly what the SEALs needed: a momentary advantage. "Move, move," White commanded, voice calm but urgent. The team advanced, clearing each building methodically. A young SEAL, Daniels, froze for a split second, paralyzed by the chaos. Elena grabbed his arm, eyes open. "We finished this together," she hissed. Suddenly, ARPG fired from the shadows, screaming toward the team. Elena rolled, narrowly avoiding the explosion, feeling the heat on her back. The blast threw debris into the air, and for a heartbeat, silence ruled a deceptive calm. Then the Warthog roared back, strafing the RPG position with precision. Enemy fighters fell back, scrambling for safety. Elena's team pressed forward, adrenaline pushing them past fear. As they reached the town square, they found the high-value target, a fortified building with enemy officers coordinating the attack. Every corner of the structure was rigged with traps, every shadow a threat. "Clear the building," White ordered. "Elena, lead the entry." Her heart pounded, but her mind was razor-sharp. With a quick nod, she signaled the team, kicked the door open, and they stormed in. Flashbangs erupted, and the room was chaos, a perfect storm of SEAL precision, firepower, and sheer nerve. When the smoke cleared, the enemy command center was neutralized. The Warthog circled above, releasing another warning salvo, ensuring no reinforcements could intervene. For a moment, the town fell silent. The SEALs regrouped, bruised but alive. Elena glanced at her team, faces smeared with dirt, sweat, and blood, yet eyes burning with determination. "Mission accomplished. For now," White said, voice steady. Elena allowed herself a brief exhale. The fight wasn't over, but tonight they had won a critical battle. and somewhere above, the A-10 roared again. A guardian from the skies, leaving destruction in its wake. The smoke from the battle still hung heavy over the town as the SEALs regrouped. The streets were scarred with craters and debris, a testament to the ferocity of the fight. Elena leaned against a shattered wall, rifle lowered but eyes alert. Status report. White called out. Cruz wiped soot from his face. Minor injuries. Daniels is shaken, but okay. All hostiles neutralized in the square. Elena's mind raced. Even though the immediate threat was gone, the weight of what they had done pressed down on her. Each fallen enemy, each explosion, each life or death decision, it all lingered in her chest. Good work, team, White said, his voice calm but heavy with unspoken fatigue. But stay sharp. This may only be phase 1. Intel suggests more units nearby. The SEALs nodded, silently acknowledging that even victory had a cost. Jenkins, sitting on a pile of rubble, muttered, "I didn't think I'd make it tonight." Elena crouched beside him. "You did. That's what matters. We stick together. That's how we survive." A distant rumble drew their attention, skyward. The A-10 Warthog loomed overhead, engines roaring like a guardian angel. Its precision strikes had been pivotal. But it also served as a grim reminder. The fight was far from over. The town's civilians began cautiously emerging from hiding, their faces etched with fear and relief. Elena's gaze softened for a moment as she helped a frightened child to safety, then refocused. Duty came first. As they moved toward extraction, a shadowy figure on the ridge caught Elena's eye. A sniper, watching, calculating, waiting. The team froze, understanding the silent danger. "Keep moving. Don't give them a shot," White ordered. Elena's hands were steady now, but her mind was alert. Every step could be the last. The A-10's roar above was reassuring, yet a reminder that the battlefield was alive and unpredictable. Tonight had tested them, forged them in fire. But tomorrow would demand even more. The town lay in uneasy silence, the echoes of gunfire and explosions fading into the night. Elena and her SEAL team moved cautiously toward the extraction point, aware that the enemy was regrouping somewhere beyond the rubble. Suddenly, distant gunfire erupted again, this time more coordinated, more aggressive. Reinforcements were approaching, and they were heavily armed. Enemy reinforcements. "Set up defensive positions," White ordered, his voice calm but urgent. Elena dove behind a collapsed wall, scanning the rooftops. Cruz, left flank. Jenkins, cover the alley. Every team member instinctively took their position, trained muscle memory guiding them. From above, the A-10 Warthog's engine screamed. Its pilot banked low, strafing enemy positions with surgical precision. The roar of its GAU-8 Avenger cannon tore through the night, shaking walls and sending dust into the air. "Move forward on my mark," Elena whispered into the comms. The SEALs advanced with stealth and precision, clearing streets and alleys with synchronized efficiency. Every corner could hide a threat. Every shadow could hold a sniper. An RPG shot screamed past Elena's head, slamming into a nearby wall and sending debris flying. She rolled, firing back in the same motion. Her heart pounded, adrenaline surging, but her mind remained sharp. Cruz shouted, "We're pinned. We need support." Elena scanned the horizon, then noticed a narrow alley the enemy hadn't covered. "Jenkins, with me. We flanked them now." The two sprinted through the alley, bullets whipping past like deadly ribbons. Elena vaulted over a low wall, firing as she landed. Jenkins provided suppressive fire, keeping the enemy off balance. The SEALs regrouped at the enemy command post. Flashbangs exploded, smoke filled the room, and chaos erupted. They stormed the building, neutralizing officers and destroying communications equipment. The Warthog circled above, strafing any reinforcements trying to enter the town. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, the enemy retreated. Elena's team regrouped, battered but victorious. White clapped her shoulder. "Outstanding work. That was textbook execution under fire." Elena allowed herself a brief exhale. The town was quiet, but she knew the battlefield never truly slept. Above, the A-10 disappeared into the night sky, leaving only its echoing roar a reminder of the power of precise support and unbreakable teamwork. The first light of dawn filtered through the smoke-choked streets. Elena's body ached from hours of relentless combat, but her mind was even busier replaying every shot, every decision. The town was quiet now, almost eerily so. White gathered the team in the central square. Faces were smeared with dirt and blood, yet determination burned in their eyes. "Good work," he said, voice calm. "We hit the objective, neutralized the threat, and everyone made it out alive." Cruz leaned on his rifle, breathing heavily. Alive, yes, but at what cost? His gaze drifted over the destroyed buildings, the shattered walls, the civilians emerging cautiously from hiding. Elena nodded. "Every mission changes you, but we did what had to be done. We saved lives tonight." Jenkins, still shaken, looked at her. "I've never seen anything like that. The Warthog, the explosions, it was like a movie." Elena gave a small smile. "Except it wasn't a movie. Every choice mattered. Every second counted. That's what separates us from chaos." the team moved through the town, checking for any stragglers or hidden threats. Civilians, still fearful, offered hesitant nods of gratitude. A small child clutched a worn teddy bear, staring wide-eyed at the seals. Elena crouched, offering a reassuring smile. "You're safe now," she said softly. White addressed the team once more. "We'll debrief, reassess, and prepare for the next phase. Remember, this mission was critical, but the fight isn't over. Stay vigilant and stay together." As they moved toward extraction, Elena glanced back at the scarred town. The echoes of gunfire and Warthog strafing still lingered in her mind. But more than that, she felt the strength of her team, forged in fire. Tonight, they had survived. Tomorrow, they would fight again, but together. Unstoppable. The SEAL team huddled near the extraction zone as the first helicopters approached. Exhaustion weighed on every member, but the sense of accomplishment and survival created a silent bond, stronger than any words. Elena wiped sweat and grime from her face, glancing at her team. "We made it," she said softly. No one laughed. No one celebrated. In their line of work, survival was celebration enough. Cruz broke the silence. "I've never seen a team move like that. Each of you had my back." Jenkins nodded, still pale from the adrenaline. I can't believe we pulled it off. I thought I was done for." "Elena, you saved me back there." Elena shrugged. "You would have done the same for me. That's what we do." White's voice cut through the air, calm but commanding. "Remember tonight, every choice mattered, every shot counted, and the A-10 above. That wasn't luck. That was coordinated support, something you can always rely on when the mission requires it." The team fell silent, reflecting on the devastation below. The town bore scars of battle, rubble, smoldering fires, and the unspoken weight of lives changed forever. Elena's gaze shifted to the ridge, where shadows hinted at distant movement. The battle was over, but the enemy was still out there, watching, planning. It was a reminder that peace was temporary, and vigilance was eternal. She sighed, letting the exhaustion wash over her. "We survived together. That's the only certainty out here." The helicopters landed, rotors kicking up dust. One by one, the SEALs boarded, their weapons secure, their minds heavy but focused. As they lifted off, Elena took one last look at the town below, silent, now but never forgotten. Above, the morning sky was tinged with orange and pink. The A-10 Warthog's roar had faded, but its presence lingered in memoria, guardian, a symbol, a reminder of the power of teamwork, precision, and courage. The helicopters carried the SEAL team away from the scarred town, rotors slicing through the morning air. Elena sat beside Jenkins, both staring silently at the ground disappearing beneath them. "Can't believe it's over," he muttered. Elena shook her head. "It's never really over. Just a pause. Until the next mission." White's voice came through the comms, but firm. "Team, debrief in 30 minutes. Good work. You held together under fire, professional, efficient, and courageous." Elena looked around at her team, bruised, exhausted, and haunted by what they'd seen, but alive. They had faced chaos, fire, and death, and they had prevailed together. The A-10 Warthog appeared in the distance one last time, a streak of gray against the rising sun. Its guns were silent now, but its roar lingered in memory, a symbol of the mission's success and the thin line between destruction and survival. As they landed at base, Elena felt a strange mixture of relief and anticipation. Another mission would come, another battle, but the bond she shared with her team, forged in fire and tested in combat, would carry them through. She stepped off the helicopter, rifle in hand, scanning the horizon. The world was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable, but she was ready, because together, they were unstoppable. Thanks for being here till the end. If this story moved you, give it a like, subscribe for more real moments, and share your thoughts. I read every comment.